I'll be very brief. Mika, Vice-Chancellor, ladies and gentlemen, I want you all to make one promise this evening after you've been here. Make a promise? Don't tell Cecil Rhodes. I think this is absolutely wonderful. And I want straight away to thank Mika from not only the bottom of my heart for what it's worth, and from the bottom of the university's heart, but from the bottom of the heart of generations of young men and women, scholars for generations to come, for your visionary philanthropy and generosity. It's wonderful for the humanities. It's wonderful for young men and women around the world who want to study the humanities, but are worried that it's sometimes involving a sacrifice for them. And it's terrific for Oxford, which we think, and so do most of the rest of the world, is the best place to study the humanities. I don't wish to embarrass him, but I was shown around I was about to say the Mandarin Hong Kong. It's actually better than the Mandarin. I was shown around by a young Australian theologian who, not sparing his blushes, is exactly the sort of young postgraduate we should be wanting desperately to have a chance of educating, because a university is only as good as those that it brings together. So many thanks. And not just thanks for your financial generosity, but thanks for your generosity aesthetically and as a human being, because this is just terrific. This is a model of what these graduate houses, study centres should be like. And unfortunately, we have a long way to go. Hence, don't tell Rhodes. I've got, before I introduce the Vice-Chancellor, and then we have, that's fine, it's just Cecil Rhodes phoning in to check out the references. But before I invite the Vice-Chancellor to say a few words, I've got a letter which I've been asked to read out, and because I'm more than 46, a bit, I need glasses in order to do it. And it's a letter which I'm very pleased to read out, first of all because it's from a heroic figure. It's from the Turkish Minister for EU Affairs, who has to be the chief negotiator with the European Union. That is real heroism. Egemen Bargis, and he wrote to me in these terms. I would like to express my deepest appreciation for your kind invitation to the opening reception of Ertegun House on behalf of my wife and myself. Unfortunately, we won't be able to attend the programme because of our busy agenda. Oxford has proved its success internationally in all branches of study, and we believe that Ertegun House will help to further this success by providing the Ertegun Scholarship Programme. He goes on, I first met Ahmet in 1985 when I moved to New York with my parents at the age of 15. I immediately admired him because of his huge success in this country, United States. My admiration was not only because he was a fellow Turk. We have many successful Turks around the world, true, but somehow Ahmet was in a universal class all by himself. Not only had he truly integrated into the melting pot of America, he'd also fostered a truly American art form and opened new horizons in music. My wife and I vacationed with him and Mica at their house in Bodrum for several summers. Ahmet was a true reformist, and he had seen the reformist power of our government in Turkey. He wanted to see a democratic and prosperous Turkey in the European Union, which is our priority project. He's certainly seen a democratic and prosperous Turkey. The rest of the sentence we have to achieve yet. We may have lost Ahmet physically, but I have no doubt he is with his friends spiritually. I'm sure he's watching his friends right now with that sly smile of his saying, "Stop all that jive. You know something, I lived my life exactly the way I wanted to." Thanks again for your invitation and hope to meet on another occasion. Well, I hope we'll be able to invite him to come and see this tribute to Ahmet and Mica for himself, not once but on many occasions. I hope we'll be able to invite many others to come and see for themselves the greater priority which we're able to give now to the humanities, thanks to this visionary gift. So thank you very much this evening, but for evenings and months and years and decades ahead, Mika, this has just been great. And perhaps I can invite the Vice-Chancellor now to speak much more knowledgeably than I have.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's a huge pleasure for me to echo the words of the Chancellor and express the thanks of so many for this magnificent gift of Mika Ertegun. The creation of a scholarship program, as we've heard, focused on graduate students. There is nothing in the world of academia more important than the strength and the contribution that graduate students make to scholarship, to knowledge. It is graduate students in all of the great universities in the world who are they're in the engine room, they are in the labs, the laboratories and the libraries. They are doing the work of scholarship that changes the world. And for Mika's gift to be focused on allowing and encouraging graduate students from all over the world, no matter what their financial circumstances, to come and study in one of the greatest universities, the greatest university in the world, is just a magnificent, magnificent gift. But as we've heard from the Chancellor, Mika has focused this gift on another enormously important priority for Oxford and for all of those interested in the life of the mind, in the world of scholarship, and that is the humanities. We all are aware, all over the world, of the challenges that study and research in the humanities is facing as we navigate our way through difficult economic times and the focus on the economic benefit, the immediate economic benefit of research. That focus becomes ever greater. It is so important for us in Oxford, it's so important for the young people who are going to be the recipients of this magnificent generosity, that in fact its focus will be on the humanities. That will be important for the research that these young people over many, many decades and centuries to come, it's important for the research that they will do. But actually it's just as important for the symbolism, the message that is sent by this statement of support, this statement of importance of the humanities to the world. And you know, on behalf, Mika, of everyone in Oxford University, it's my enormous pleasure. I know I've said it many times, and I will be like a broken record in the years to come. Thank you, thank you, thank you. This is an enormously important thing for us. And it was reinforced this afternoon, I have to say. I joined Mika and Linda and many others, Dame Vivian, many others in this room for lunch with the students, the newly arrived students. And each one of them stood up and spoke about the work they were doing, and they had such, look at them, enthusiasm, such bright eyes, and just focused very firmly on the future. Oxford is a 900-year-old university. We are very, very proud of our history and our traditions. But we are not looking backwards. We are always looking forwards on what we might and will contribute to the future. And it's through the eyes of these young scholars that we will have our most significant impact on the future. And to listen to them talk about the experience of their first few days in Oxford was just marvellous. And now, every one of them expressed deep and heartfelt gratitude to Mica, and it was just a delight to hear their words. I particularly liked one of them, I won't embarrass who they were, who said they never thought they'd be able to come to Oxford, and it was the enormous generosity of Mica that allows them to be here. And as they walk around Oxford and the Radcliffe Camera and the Sheldonian and the Bodleian, and they feel like they're in an academic theme park. And any of you who read yesterday's Times, did any of you see there was a magnificent article in yesterday's Times about Oxford, about the openness and the welcoming atmosphere that Oxford has for students, no matter what their background. And they profiled a young student, 18-year-old, who's just arrived in Oxford as an undergraduate. And she said something very similar. She said she'd arrived in Oxford, she'd walked around. It's fabulous. It's Disneyland for geeks. Which, academic theme park, Disneyland for geeks. I'll take both of them. And I think that there's something rather wonderful. And the Chancellor has mentioned Mica and the significance of this gift. And for me, tomorrow we have the great honour and the privilege of inducting Mica into the Chancellor's Court of Benefactors. The Chancellor will preside over that ceremony. We are looking forward in the very near future of awarding Mica a very significant, for Oxford, it's the highest praise and award that we can give, which is the Sheldon Medal. And for me, it's rather wonderful as one mentions names, the great benefactors of Oxford are memorialised in many ways. They're memorialised in stone. Radcliffe, Bodley, Sheldon, Wolfson, and it's an absolute delight tonight that we are celebrating the addition of another great name to the pantheon of people who have changed this great university, and by changing it, have changed the world, and that name will be Ertegun. And this building will be Ertegun House. Ertegun scholars will make so many immense contributions to the world. So Mica, again, our heartfelt thanks to you. And I'd like to echo the letter that the Chancellor read out. There is someone who isn't here tonight. We express our thanks to you, Mica, but we also express them with all the gratitude we can to Ahmet, who isn't here, but who is as much part of this gift and the change and the benefit that will come from this gift as you are. So we thank you, Mica, and we thank Ahmet for this immense generosity. Thank you.
The Chancellor and the Vice-Chancellor, you're wonderful. I think it's exaggerated. I have no quality. I'm just a human being with people surrounding me who inspired me, and it wasn't only my belief, it was the belief of all of you and my friends, and what more can I say? I'm not going to keep you long. I just wanted to tell you that I feel I have to thank to a couple of people. And I'm not going to go through every person I know, because there are, but I want to acknowledge a few people who helped me here. The first one was John Hood. As Vice-Chancellor, when I first began to learn about Oxford University, John was the person who began to familiarize me with the great institution. I really didn't know anybody. I had a lot of friends who came to Oxford, and you know exactly how I got to Oxford, through a movie. Equally, I acknowledge the current Vice-Chancellor, Andrew Hamilton. When Oxford was still new world to me, Andy patiently answered my most stupid questions. And I'm grateful to him for making me feel at home. And when I did something stupid, he kind of was very discreet. We are here for many time, and people in Oxford have been instrumental in making what we accomplish today. I mean, all the work here has been done with great love, maybe with difficulties, because we are very demanding, but they were wonderful. Many of my friends also volunteered in time and their energy to the Ertegun program. I especially wish to thank two of my great friends from London, Dame Vivian Duffield. And also Harvey Goldsmith, who is sitting in front of me, who is an old friend of Ahmet's. They work together a lot, and he keeps helping me with everything I'm trying to remember. Good or bad. I have to mention my friend Linda, who without her, I promise you, nothing would have been on time. And I apologize to everybody that we are a nervous group and demanding, but that's what we are. And thank you so much.
Now, I think I'm right in saying that we have beamed in by technology a guest who couldn't be with us tonight.
Mika, we're sorry we can't be with you today, as we're in New York for the premiere of the film of our 2007 concert honouring Ahmet. A London opening follows on Friday.
We as a band looked upon Ahmet as our friend and bon viveur. Ahmet always said that it was his own education that gave him the foundation to broaden his vision and pursue great things in music. It's a marvellous tribute to him and to you that the Ertegun programme is now launched.
In December 2007, we came together at the O2 Arena in London to pay tribute to the life of Ahmet and perform in his honour.
The money raised at our concert enabled the establishment of a perpetual Ahmet Ertegun Scholarship at the University of Oxford. But it turns out that our concert was only the start of the Ertegun-Oxford connection.
Little did we know that 4 years later, you would be at Oxford for the opening of the magnificent building that will be known in perpetuity as Ertegun House.
Through your great personal generosity, you're making it possible forever for talented students from all over the world to receive full scholarships so they can pursue their dream at Oxford and do their research and writing in this wonderful house.
16 students will receive full scholarships this year alone, and more Ertegun scholars will go on forever and ever. Your generosity, Mika, together with the hard work by you, Linda, and the team at Oxford, has led to more than we could ever have imagined. A great, great gift to the world.
To the students we say, take pride in being the first Ertegun scholars to enjoy the legacy of Mika and Ahmet Ertegun.
And use this opportunity to take your studies to an even higher level. Good luck.
I'd now like to invite Professor Shira West, who's responsible for humanities at this great university, to come and talk to us. And Shira and I have one or two things in common, such as our views on the pre-Raphaelite painters.
I'm never going to be able to show my face among the art historical world again, Chris, after that. But we've spoken a bit about the students today and the wonderful Ertegun scholars we have. And One of the things one of them said at lunch today was, I can't believe I'm here and I can't stop smiling. And I think that really says it all, and I feel that way myself. I can't believe I'm here and I can't stop smiling about the absolutely marvelous, wonderful gift that Mika has given to us at Oxford and to humanities. And I just very briefly just want to say 3 things about how wonderful this is for humanities in Oxford. And I think that, there's many, many more things I can say, but I want to be brief. I think the first one is this scholarship program provides an opportunity for students throughout the world to come to Oxford, and these students might not have been able to come here otherwise. And I think that's something that really needs to be emphasized. Students can come here and study humanities who may not have been able to do it otherwise. And that's very important. I think the second point I want to make is about this beautiful house, at Ertegun House, which is not only marvelous and beautiful and has state-of-the-art technology, but also it is destined to become a community of humanities scholars, a hub for humanities in Oxford, and under the directorship of Dr. Brian Ward-Perkins, who is the first Ertegun director, there will be a very exciting program of academic and cultural events here, which really will make this a place people want to come and be in. And I think the final point I want to make, the Vice-Chancellor mentioned the generations and generations of students who will come here over hundreds of years, and thousands of students going around the world and going back to wherever they go back to and whatever life choices they make. And I think a deep humanities education will mean that they take back to the worlds that they're going to some very important qualities. They'll take back a toleration, cross-cultural understanding, an ability to engage knowledgeably with democracy in their societies, a deep and profound ability to think, a cultural richness, and I think a respect for the past and the artifacts of the past. And all of these things are only a small number of things that a deep education in humanities gives to students. But then they go out in the world and they take those things with them. So this program is not just going to be for Oxford, it's not just going to be for the students and for humanities, but for the future of humanity. And Mika, we are so grateful to you for what you've done for us at Oxford and for the world. Thank you very much.
I think, barring the arrival of Dr. Kissinger or Cecil Rhodes, that is the end of the proceedings here. But again, thank you for coming. Again, thank you to Mika. And all our best wishes to the first generation of graduate scholars. You'll have a terrific time, and in years to come, you'll think how grateful you should be to this extraordinary philanthropist. So good luck, and work hard, but enjoy it for heaven's sake.